This morning here at 105.5 WDHA, as we get to Veterans Day and honor the men and women who served our country, Brian Reyngoudt is with me. He is the vice president and co-founder of Operation K9 Beethoven. Brian, good morning. Tell our listeners about the program Operation K9 Beethoven.
Well, first, good morning to you, Jim. Thank you so much for having me. Operation K9 Beethoven started in January of 2020. Right now, actively, we have 18 dogs that we've given to our heroes, our veterans who suffer from PTSD, depression, anxiety, or just need that emotional support. And as of yesterday, we actually gave a dog named Aldo to a veteran. The trainer went up to Watertown, New York, spent time with the veteran, showed the veteran some things, and she's there today as well doing the same thing. But our process is great. What we do is we rescue our dogs from euthanasia, kill shelters, off the streets, and we temper check them, we get them back to health, and then it's our goal that our veterans, our heroes, go to a website and they apply, and we have our process with the application process. They can go to our website at operationk9beethoven.com. They can apply to be into our program, and then once that is good and it's a good fit and they give us their paperwork and everything, then we pull the dog, we try to find the dog that could best suit their lifestyle. For me, it's very important that if you're an active gentleman or woman and you want the dog to be able to go to work every day, we're going to try to pull the dog that would be able to obtain that activity throughout the day, throughout the week.
And the origins of Operation K9 Beethoven actually are with your family itself, your mom and your dad.
Well, it's my father and my family, as well as my partner, the founder, Arpi Cortez. My parents were selling their house in January of 2020. My brother reached out to someone that he knew, and that woman called this gentleman named Sam. Growing up, I've had dogs my whole life, so we were trying to get some of the kennels and the crates, donated. So this gentleman, Arpi, showed up with Beethoven, who is the boss, and right on his truck was K9 Beethoven. So he and I struck up a conversation. I said, what do you do with Beethoven? He says, well, I go to hospitals. I go to the Actors Guild nursing home in Hackensack, New Jersey. I do this, I do that. He's a therapy dog. I said, well, mom is, she's upset after 40 plus years of memories. She's selling the house, so she's a little down and out, and she loves animals. Would you mind bringing Beethoven into the house? And of course he said absolutely. And so Beethoven came in. My mom, you can see her face completely changed from sad to happy, and all that Beethoven did was just sit at her side, and my mother was just rubbing him, and it was an amazing sight to see. And then he and I then slowly became good friends. I told him that my father was a veteran and he's in the veterans home. He says, well, when I can get there, I'll make sure that your father will be the first person to meet Beethoven. So he kept his word. And from there, he called me one day and says, what floor is your father on? What unit, what room number? I gave him that information. And I called my father and I said, hey, Dad, you're going to get a very special visit today. And he goes, is it you? I said, no. He goes, well, I was kind of looking forward to that pasta bourgeois that you promised. I said, it's not going to be me today. I said, but you're going to get a special visit. And so several hours went by, and I called my father back and I said, how was the visit? Because, Arpi took some pictures and sent them to me. He goes, it was the best wake-up call I ever got.
Wow.
And then that's how it all just, he and I talking, reaching out to other people. And that's how we started Operation K9 Beethoven. And we like to say, helping veterans one paw at a time.
You mentioned that your dad was in a veteran's home. He had served in Vietnam, late 60s, correct?
Yes, 68, 69, three-time Purple Heart.
My guess is he didn't talk to you a lot about the military and probably talked even less about his experiences in Vietnam.
Well, as I got older, he would tell my brother and I stories. I mean, I would never really ask questions. I know that through the years, he would go to high schools and talk to history classes and stuff like that. But he did talk about it from time to time. Not always, not always.
Why do you think the suicide rate among veterans is so high, Brian?
That's another goal. We want to lower those numbers. I know it's 22 a day. I personally think it might be higher. I just don't know. It's a sad thing because our veterans go and fight for our country, and especially back in the Vietnam days when they were coming back, they weren't very well received. And now they're being more well received than more than ever, and it should have always been that way.
I think the country has come to the realization that while we may disagree with a particular military action, the blame should not be placed on the individual men and women who serve this country. I think if anything came out of the Vietnam experience, that was definitely one of them, Brian.
Yes, it was. And my father will tell you, and many other Vietnam veterans, that they shouldn't have been there, but they did what they had to do to protect their country.
Brian, for WDHA listeners who want to learn more about your program, where do they go? What do they do?
They can go to our Facebook page, Operation K9 Beethoven. They can go to our website at operationbeethoven.com. Also, my team and all of us here at Operation K9 Beethoven, we're 100% volunteers. We're a non-for-profit in the state of New Jersey. We don't make any money at this. So all the money that we make, the donations, the merchandise sales, we throw it right back to our program because there's no out-of-pocket expenses for the veteran. We take care of everything, all the expenses, the vet bills, the traveling to get the dog to training, get the dog from training to the dog's forever home with their forever veteran.
Again, that website is operationk9beethoven.com. And I should point out it is the letter K and the number 9. Brian Reyngoudt, Vice President and co-founder of Operation K9 Beethoven. Thank you so much for your time this morning. You do great work with this organization.
Thank you so much. And thank you to Jim and WDHA, because we can only do so little locally on Facebook page and events, but having a medium like yours, having me on, we really do appreciate your time.